The next ones, we are doing the same as the previous ones. We're just on problem type 3 instead of problem type 2. So now they're going to give us not the common ones to start with, but doing the same thing. Let theta be an angle in quadrant 2. So we're over here in quadrant 2. We're going to start with the cosecant of theta is equal to 5. That means we have 5 over 1. Cosecant is the hypotenuse over the opposite. So the hypotenuse is 5, the opposite side is 1. I need to find my missing side. So 1 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. 1 plus x squared equals 25. If I subtract 1, x squared equals 24. I'm going to do the square root of 24, and I can simplify the square root of 24 because it is 4 times 6, so 2 square root of 6. Now this is going in the negative direction, so I'm actually going to use negative 2 square root of 6 in my reference triangle. I am going to find the tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. I'm also going to do the cosine, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So, the opposite over the adjacent, I'm going to have 1 over negative 2 square root of 6. I have to rationalize the denominator. Don't have to worry about the 2. I'm just going to multiply by the square root of 6. So negative is going to be in front. I'm going to have square root of 6. 6 is going to be the value there when I take the square root of 6 times the square root of 6. So negative, or 2 times 6 is going to give me 12. I move the negative out in front. So I end up having negative square root of 6 over 12 for my answer. I should have put my cosine down a little bit, but that's okay. My cosine is my adjacent over my hypotenuse, so all I'm just going to do is put negative 2 square root of 6 over my hypotenuse of 5. Again, they'll put the negative out in front, so negative 2 square root of 6 over 5 would be my cosine. Number 5, theta is going to be an angle in quadrant 3. So I'm going to draw my reference triangle here in quadrant 3. I know the secant is negative 5 halves. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. And so my hypotenuse is always a positive number. So my hypotenuse is 5. The adjacent side is going to be negative 2. And you can see that the adjacent side is going in the negative direction. So that would make sense. 5 over negative 2. I want to find my missing side. So negative 2 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. 4 plus x squared equals 25. If I subtract 4, x squared equals 21. Whoops, so x is going to equal the square root of 21. 21 I can't simplify. It is going in the negative direction. So negative square root of 21 is going to be my missing side. Going to find my cotangent and my sine. So my cotangent is my adjacent over my opposite. My adjacent is negative 2. My opposite is negative square root of 21. I have to rationalize my denominator. I got a negative over a negative, so it's going to be positive 2 square root of 21 over 21. Can't simplify that any farther than that. So that's going to be my answer for cotangent. My sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is negative square root of 21 over 5 then. Of course, they'll put the negative in front, and so negative square root of 21 over 5 would be the sine of my angle. Number 6, same kind of thing. Theta is going to be an angle in quadrant 2. I know that my cotangent is negative 2 square root of 6, which I'm going to write as over 1. And so cotangent is the adjacent over the opposite. So my adjacent is negative 2 square root of 6. It is going in the negative direction. My opposite is 1. It is going in the positive direction. If my lines were going the other way, I'd switch my sign so that the top was positive and the bottom was negative. But it worked out. The top is negative, the bottom is positive. I got to use my Pythagorean theorem. So 1 squared plus negative 2 squared is 6 squared equals x squared. Well, 1 squared is 1. Here I have to multiply. Negative 2 squared is 6 times negative 2 square root of 6, which is positive 4 square root of 36, or 4 times 6, 24. One plus 24 is 25, and so x is going to equal 5. It is my hypotenuse, so it will be positive because my hypotenuse is always positive. I am going to do the sine. The sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is 1 over 5. And I am going to do the secant. The secant is the hypotenuse over the adjacent. The hypotenuse over the adjacent would be 5 over negative 2 square root of 6. And there's one again I have to rationalize. So I'm just going to multiply by the square root of 6. I have a positive over a negative, so it's going to be negative. 5 square root of 6 over the square root of 6 times the square root of 6 is 6. 6 times the 2 is 12. So I get negative 5 square root of 6 over 12.